Hey guys, welcome back to the series on getting started with the API on SX. In today's episode, we're going to be moving on to some of the more fun stuff and creating modules to post and manage new orders. So let's head to SXBet right now and take a look at an order book. So these are active orders that have been posted to the exchange by other people. So that could be market makers who are offering on both sides and just looking to profit off the vig, or it could be takers who are looking to get a better price with a limit order on one side. So our goal today is to create a module that's capable of posting new orders like this with the post new orders endpoint. So let's move on to our prompt here and get started. All right, so pasting in the first part of the prompt here, and it's the usual setup, expert JavaScript developer, and explaining that I want modules to place an order on SXBet. Then I start adding a few key details about what I need. So my private key is in a .env file, and we'll need to access that correctly. I want error logging in case something goes wrong with the code, and the odds are going to need to be rounded to the nearest stepladder to adhere with the API's rules. So this first thing is we need to get our private key. That is basically going to be what allows us to place orders without manually signing the transaction through the UI of SXBet. So if you're on email wallet, that is if you've signed into SXBet with your email, you can come and get your private key from the assets page. If you just scroll down, you should see something here that says access private key. And so you're going to want to go ahead and copy that to your clipboard and just hold on to it for now. And if you're on MetaMask, you can also get your private key by opening up your MetaMask, clicking on the drop down for your account, selecting those three little dots, account details, and then show private key. It will ask you to enter your password, and then copy that to your clipboard from there. So once you've got your private key, the next thing that you're going to do is let's just go over here and create a new folder and call it post order. And so within that, you're going to want to create a file and just call it .env, and then add something here like private key, and then paste your private key here and save that file. Next, I just want to go start getting all of the constants that we need to provide with this request to post an order. So we get the market hash to identify the market, maker, which is our wallet address, baseToken, which is the USDC contract address, executor, that's a constant that we can get from the metadata endpoint. Then there's isMaker betting outcome 1. So this is a Boolean that we can set to true or false, and that will determine which outcome we're actually placing our order on. So which outcome that we want to get billed for. And then finally, the chain ID, which we can get from the SXBet documentation. And so let's start by getting the chain ID there. So if we go to the SXBet documentation, which is docs.sx.technology, we can go to mainnet details here, and we can get some useful information about the SX rollup mainnet. So let's go ahead and just copy that chain ID, and we'll come back here, paste that in. Now let's go get a market hash to place an order on. So if we just come to SXBet here, and then we'll go ahead and open up developer tools on the side, go into more tools, developer tools. And then if we go on to the network tab here and click into a market, we can just go and quickly fetch a market hash from the API here. So let's make this a little wider. So then let's just go ahead and copy the first market hash on the list here. Should be fine for our purposes. And then you're going to want to go ahead and copy your address for maker. So if you're on email wallet, that's going to be just from right here. And if you're on MetaMask, you can also copy it from right there or directly from your MetaMask. So let's go ahead and copy that. Now, the final two things you're going to need here are the base token address. So that is the token we want to bet in again. So we need to go get the address corresponding to that token. And we're also going to need to get the executor address. So that helpful function that we made in the very first episode of this series, if you recall, to get the metadata for the exchange, should have the executor address that we need. But since we don't have that program within this new refactored folder, project anymore, we're going to just go send a single curl request to the API to get that. So we can just come over here and copy this curl request from the metadata page. And then if we open up our terminal here, we can just go ahead and copy that that curl request in, and then we're just going to add one thing, which will filter it to get the chain version, or sorry, to get the metadata for the SX roll up network rather than SXN. So we're going to pass that in by adding a question mark and then lowercase chain, uppercase version equals SXR, and then we'll just add that quotation mark on the end. And great. So now you can see right at the top here, we get the executor address. So let's copy that and go ahead and paste it in over here. And then the last thing is to get the base token address. So we can go to explorer l2.sx.technology. And then just on the left here, we can click on tokens. And the first one on the list is USDC, which we want to bet in. So let's go ahead and copy that token address. And then we will paste it in here. Next part of the prompt in here, I'm just saying that the standalone script should ask me what stake size and what odds I want to post the order at before posting it. And I'm only really adding this part for the sake of testing that the standalone module works. In reality, we'd obviously want to be passing these details programmatically or something. And now last thing before pasting the docs to the bottom, I'm just saying what version of the ethers code library I'm using on my computer, since the sample code in the API docs is written for a less recent version of that library. Speaking of the docs here, let's go get all of the documentation for post new orders, highlight that, and we'll copy it to our clipboard. And then let's come back to Claude here and just paste it right in at the bottom. And let's just say round odds to the nearest step ladder before posting the order. And great, let's send that. Great, so now we've got this module for placing orders on SXBet. And so we're gonna go ahead and head back to our post order folder that we created here. And let's create a new file called post.js. And then we're gonna copy all of the code for that file and save it here. And so great, now we've already done this step of creating a .env file in our folder and adding our private key. Now we just need to install the dependencies. So let's open up the terminal and then we'll run that command to install all the dependencies. And then the last step, of course, is just to run the program. So let's navigate to that post order folder within here. So cd post order, and then we can run the file with node post.js. And it seems that yep, nothing is happening here. So let's go and figure that out. Nothing happening when I run the script. Please give me a index.js entry point to run it from. Great, so now we've just got this entry point. Not sure why this was happening, but let's just create an entry point that we're importing these modular functions to. So then we just need to change this to be the actual name of our other order placement file. So let's call that post.js to match this. And now let's run it with, let's just make sure we didn't miss anything else here. Great, now let's run it with node index.js. So index.js. Great, now let's enter our stake size. Let's do 10, that's the minimum for a maker order, and let's just do 30. So I think I realized this is actually just because I'm doing this on a fresh wallet here. So let's go ahead and connect my MetaMask, and then we'll complete basic verification to enable betting here. So So if you're on a new wallet like me here and you've never placed a bet before with it, you're gonna need to go enable betting by filling out that basic verification form and then making a market order, which I'm gonna go do right now. It can be on any market, it doesn't really matter. So let's just go and select something from NBA here. So 76er spread, and let's just do the minimum stake of $5 and click place bet. And then we'll need to accept both confirmations in our MetaMask to approve all of the smart contracts. Great, so now this wallet should be able to post orders without getting that error. So now let's head back here and try this with those changes made, or sorry, node index.js. and let's say 10, and let's do 30% odds. Great, so now it looks like our order has been placed. In fact, if we go check here, we can see that at the 3.33 odds, or 30% as we entered, and for $10. So complementary to being able to post orders, I obviously need the ability to cancel orders as well. Maybe my odds become stale, I just don't want the bet anymore, or whatever. I need to be able to cancel the orders before somebody else fills them. So let's get started with that. Simple modular function to cancel orders on SXBet. Let's do this program, and then we'll say here are the docs to do so below. Then from the cancel individual orders page from the API docs, we're just going to highlight everything as usual, copy that to our clipboard, and then come back to Claude here, and we'll paste that in and send the prompt. Great, so now we've got some modules to cancel orders. So let's see what it's built for us here. We've got another one to add here, another file to add to this folder. So let's go ahead and do that, the order cancellation module, and we'll paste that code in and save it. And then we've also got an updated version of the entry point. So let's go ahead and replace what we have here for index.js. And then we'll just need to update the cancel orders to be the cancel file. So cancel.js orders to post.js. So let's go ahead and save that. So let's just go ahead here and try placing an order, and then we will get the order hash of that order from the terminal when it prints out here, and then we will use that to run the cancellation part of the program. So let's just go ahead and, first navigate again to post order, since this is a new terminal, and then we'll do node index.js. And so let's start by placing a new order, and let's just do it at 30% odds again. Great, so now we've got this order, and like we said, so we need the order hash in order to cancel that order. And so we can fetch that here. It's nicely printed in the terminal for us. So now let's try to cancel that order. So node index.js, and let's cancel this order by pasting that in. Okay, so it seems that we're getting a signature mismatch, and I think I've had this problem before. And yeah, so one thing that I've seen ChatGPT or Claude or whoever miss before is that sometimes it forgets that it needs to pass this query parameter. See, if we don't pass anything about chain version, the default will be SXN. So here we're just going to add, similar to when we were getting the metadata, chain version equals SXR, and let's save that. And now let's try canceling it again. So now let's cancel the order, and I'm just going to show you side by side here. So we created that other order here, and now we want to cancel it with the order hash. So let's just go ahead and paste in that order hash and now cancel it. Great, so we now have a basic order management module that can post a new order and cancel it at any time.